It's Hot 99.1. Your girl Goddess is here. And as you know, Sounds of Blackness are going to be performing at the Black Arts and Culture Festival this Saturday. And I've got the director on the line, Gary Hines. How you doing?
I'm cooling the gang by the grace of God, Goddess. We're excited.
Me too. So I heard that recently you guys just released a single, Royalty.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Royalty is Sounds of Blackness' new single. In fact, all of your wonderful listeners and supporters can see the video for Royalty on YouTube. And thank you for your support, because with that support, currently now, Royalty is number 18 with a bullet. But you know what? Much more importantly than that, Goddess, we sang this song just a couple of weeks ago at the funeral of the brother that was killed by the police here, Brother Philando Castile. And I say that to mention that really this song has become an anthem for what's going on in the streets today, in our cities, with our people, and across the country. So, yeah, it's great that it's a radio single, but Royalty is really about uplifting our people.
And you know what? For those of you guys who don't know, Sounds of Blackness does so much for our community. Not only do they aid in feeding our communities, but they're also an advocate against domestic violence. So you guys got to get with this, right?
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that as well, because Sounds of Black, we believe in putting the music to work. I mean, yes, we're an artist and we perform and the whole performance side of it, but much more than that, one of the great people of our history, Paul Robeson, once said that all true artists have a responsibility to their people. And so in addition to the movement for justice and equality, Goddess, as you mentioned a moment ago, Sounds of Blackness has been actively and still is actively involved in the struggle against domestic violence. We've been working with national domestic violence agencies for the past 6 or 7 years and creating music for them, not just to, feel good music, but that they actually put to work in their efforts and workshops with survivors of domestic violence.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that. A group that gives you great music and helps the community. Because, Gary, there's so many artists and groups out there that are pretty much out for self. Am I correct? So I have a question, Gary. What does it take to get everybody together? Because it is so many of you. How many of you is there actually?
Well, let me give you the rundown, Goddess. The full membership of Sounds of Blackness is 25.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well, but here's the breakdown, my queen. It's 15 singers and 10 musicians. That's the full complement. But we have, different configurations. So as we perform, and we're so excited to do that for the Black Cultural Arts Festival, we'll be bringing our tour group of 15. And so that's 8 singers and 7 musicians. So when people see us usually around the country and overseas, it's usually that number, our tour group, of 15 that travel.
Yes, that's awesome. I know I'm looking at the website right now. Everybody looks so beautiful and they're all white. If you guys get a chance to check it out, go on over to soundsofblackness.org. I do have a question before we go. I know you guys performed 10 years ago at the Olympics in '96. Is there any chance you guys are going to be in Rio this year?
You know what? I'm so glad you mentioned that, Goddess. So there is a chance. The short answer to your question, we're just trusting and believing God for that and continuing to pray about it and continuing to work. And Royalty is something that's also registering with them. And we also have a song that we actually wrote for the Olympics called Victorious. That may be our next single. And, of course, if it is, you will be the first to know.
Yes, you make sure you tell me. I'm going to tell my listeners right now. I know you guys know that I'm here from Las Vegas, and I've actually got a chance to not only hang out with the Sounds of Blackness, but to catch them perform. And if you don't catch them this Saturday, you're definitely missing out on a high energy show. We're talking about live musicians, real singers, okay?
That's right. We don't fake the funk.
No faking the funk over there.
No. And this is sort of a homecoming for me. I'm Yorker, born and raised in Yonkers.
Oh, my goodness. Yonkers in the house.
Yeah, even as a shorty, I used to come up all the time to Albany to march in parades, drum and bugle corps and all that. So it's definitely a homecoming with Sounds of Blackness. So you, Goddess, are Royalty. We're going to dedicate that song. We had dedicated earlier when we lost our beloved brother Prince. We had dedicated to him, but we're going to perform it for you, Goddess, when we are in Albany.
Well, all of you guys know I'm going to be there hanging out with Gary and the whole gang, so make sure you guys come out and hang out with me and the whole hot team. We're going to be at the Black Arts and Culture Festival going down this Saturday between 2 and 7. That's going to be so interesting. I'm so excited. Well, thank you, Gary, so much for calling in Sounds of Blackness. You guys go and check them out at soundsofblackness.org, and we'll catch you on Saturday, my friends. Safe travels.
Thank you, my queen goddess. You are royalty.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Yes, that was Gary Hines from Sounds of Blackness, and we're going to get into their new single. It's called Royalty, and you're going to hear it only right here on the #1 station in the Cap City. It's Hot 99.1.